One of our members asked for this episode, so first off, let me say, smarty pants you are. Thanks for the heads up because this one goes deep. If you've been staring at Justin's poem, flipping lines around, wondering if there's more than just a linear path, buckle in. We're talking about the chiastic theory. What is chiasmus? The word chiasmus comes from the Greek letter chi, which looks like an X. That's exactly how chiastic structure works, a crisscross pattern. Imagine a poem where the ideas don't just move forward A to B to C, but then swing back in reverse C prime to B prime to A prime. It's like looking into a mirror where everything reflects and inverts. This structure isn't just fancy theory. It shows up everywhere. In the Bible, especially Genesis and the flood story, where the middle event is the pivot of the narrative. In ancient epics like Beowulf and the Iliad. In modern literature, like the Harry Potter series, where the ending mirrors the beginning. Even in political speeches like John F. Kennedy's famous, "Ask not what your country can do for you" line. Why is it so powerful? Because our brains love patterns, symmetry, and echoes. Chiasmus creates unity, memorability, and often points straight to a hidden center that's the most important part of the work. Let's make this fun. Look at Raiders of the Lost Ark. Scholars call it a symmetrical masterpiece. The film literally arcs out and then folds back in. Indy begins by chasing an idol in a cave and ends with an artifact sealed in a government warehouse. Along the way, the midpoint, the Well of Souls, is the central turning point. The treasure is revealed in the middle, not the end. Or take National Treasure. The movie begins with the legend of the Templar Horde and ends with that very treasure being discovered. Family doubts at the beginning become family reconciliation at the end. In between, the chiastic pivot is the Liberty Bell clue, which flips the entire direction of the hunt. Even Harry Potter. Voldemort tries to kill Harry in the first chapter and fails. 7 books later, Voldemort tries again, and this time, Harry wins. The beginning foreshadows the ending, and the middle of the series, the Goblet of Fire, becomes the pivot where the Dark Lord truly returns. So what does all this mean for us? Well, if a treasure poem is written chiastically, then the clues aren't just linear stepping stones. They're reflections. Stanza 1 might mirror the final stanza. Stanza 2 might reflect the second to last stanza. The middle stanza, that could be the crucial hinge, the X marks the spot moment. This is where treasure hunters get excited, because if you map the poem this way, you might discover clues you missed. A line that felt vague at the beginning could suddenly make sense when read next to its mirror partner at the end. This was debated endlessly in the Forest Fen treasure hunt. Was the poem meant to be solved in strict sequential order? Or was it a chiastic puzzle circling back on itself? Many hunters swore the key was that the ending is in the beginning. Here's why this matters for us treasure hunters. It's not A to B. The poem may not be a straight set of directions. The center matters. The middle stanza could hold the biggest reveal. The echoes help decode. One clue may only make sense when you see its twin later in the poem. If Justin truly built beyond the map's edge around a chiastic structure, then solving it isn't just about boots on the ground. It's about pattern recognition. It's about symmetry. It's about realizing the map itself might be hiding in the poem's mirrored structure. So is the second stanza really the breakthrough? Could it be the pivot? Or is it one half of a mirrored clue waiting for its partner later on? Here's my advice. Pull out your notes, map it letter by letter, and don't just read forward. Read it backward, read it sideways. Look for balance. Because maybe, just maybe, the ending was in the beginning all along. Remember, chiastic theory means symmetry. Ideas mirror back and forth, pivoting around a central hinge. It's ABCC prime B prime A prime. Here's one possible mapping of Justin's poem. A, stanza 1. Time, rhyme, shadowed sight. This stanza introduces time and wisdom, an opening vision. B, stanza 2. Waters, the whole, cast your pole. A journey motif, water, fishing, bending paths. C, stanza 3. Ursa, the bride, the gates, foot of 3, return her face. A cryptic, celestial geographic set of instructions. This feels like the pivot. C prime, stanza 4. Double arcs, granite bold, secrets of the past. More physical directions, granite and arcs, but still paired to C's imagery of gates and bold landmarks. B prime, stanza 5, A. Truth not in clever minds, not in twisted finds. Just like stanza 2's silent waters and casting poles, this echoes the idea of avoiding tangles, of staying simple and steady. A prime, stanza 5b. Like a river's steady flow, what you seek, you already know. A return to time, wisdom, and flow. The beginning and ending literally mirror each other. It starts with time, it ends with flow. So what's the center? The Ursa stanza. In Ursa East his realm awaits. His bride stands guard at ancient gates. Her foot of 3 at 20 degree, return her face to find the place. That's the hinge. That's the pivot of the poem. Everything before it leans forward into it, and everything after it leans back out of it. If the poem is chiastic, the first stanza, time, rhyme, wisdom, mirrors the final stanza, truth, flow, knowing. Beginning equals ending. The second stanza, waters, whole, casting a pole, mirrors the penultimate stanza, avoiding tangles, staying steady. Journey equals simplicity. The third stanza is the centerpiece. Ursa, gates, degrees, faces. This is the cryptic heart of the puzzle. Chiastic poems often hide their biggest clue in the middle. And sure enough, Justin has already dropped a bomb that at least part of the second stanza has been solved. If stanza 2 is paired with stanza 4 or 5 in a chiastic pattern, then unlocking it may mean we're halfway to cracking the mirrored structure. This structure isn't new. The Bible does this, epics do this, even Indiana Jones does this. The pivot scene is always the most important. In Raiders of the Lost Ark, it's the Well of Souls. In National Treasure, it's the Liberty Bell clue. In the Harry Potter saga, it's Goblet of Fire, where everything turns. For beyond the map's edge, that pivot might just be Ursa and the bride at the gates. The treasure hunting angle. For us hunters, chiastic theory changes the way we read. Instead of only moving forward through the stanzas, we read them like mirrors. We compare stanza 1 to the ending, stanza 2 to the second to last, and we focus hard on the center because that's where the key often lives. So if you're mapping your solve, don't just walk a straight line. Think in reflections, think in symmetry, think of an X across the poem. Justin might be telling us that this isn't just a trail of breadcrumbs, it's a ring, a mirrored circle, and if that's true, then the treasure may not be hidden in the forward march of the poem, but in the pivot, the reflection, the center. So grab your notes, circle the middle stanza, and remember this, the ending may always have been in the beginning.